Hello, Dissectomaniacs, and welcome to Dissecting the 80s. First things first, we're going to have
I'm the
to...
realist.
You
said first things first, and I said I'm the realist.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Way to go for that. Don't interrupt me so when I do my spiel so I don't have to edit anything out. That's a perfect start.
Keep it in.
First things first, we have to apologize for missing a week last week. The other half of the Mega Podcasting Powers...
Andrew Leno
was sick with some combination of that rage virus from 28 Days Later and Ebola and a couple of diseases previously only known to exist in sharks. I don't know how he acquired them.
You don't know my Saturday nights.
And I don't want to ask him, to be quite honest with you. But to make up for that, we're going to do something a little unusual to start things off. Before we jump into our movie this week, Andrew had a very funny experience at work, and I'm going to make him share it with the world.
Yes, I am a server at a chain restaurant known for their french fries. And I worked the morning shift, which typically is 10:30 in the morning for me, because I was a shift lead. That means I'm important. And that goes till about 3, usually, is when it dies enough that they're like, you know what, the bartender can handle the whole restaurant for the next hour till night shift people come on. So it's about 3:30. They're like, you know what, it's probably good. And then the host comes up and goes, hey, are you guys okay to take a party of 50? And I was like, oh, tonight? And she was like, no, now, they're up front. And I was like, oh, so I'm not leaving. Got it. Okay.
That is
and it
funny.
was lady soccer players and their families. So the lady soccer players were not sitting with their families. They were all sitting together. So what we did was we took all their orders and assigned them their jersey number. And then when we took their families' orders, we said, tell us your player's number, and we can put their bill on your bill.
That's a pretty clever way to solve that problem.
Yeah, it only took a lot of brain power to be like, okay, very carefully go through the computer. We started memoing them on the system so that it would pop up and say player 17.
It's pretty clever.
Yeah, but I had to stay at work till 5:30 when I was supposed to be done at 4 because of party of 50. So if you ever are a party larger than 15, call ahead at least an hour before, just to be like, hey, I'm gonna
50 people without a reservation is so crazy.
Like, hey, I'm gonna show up at your restaurant and be the worst in about an hour. Give us an hour's notice.
That restaurant can't hold more than, what, 100, 150?
Pretty much.
125?
It was the entire center main dining area. It was full.
Well, anyway, that was a work-related story because the movie that we brought you, we're bringing you this week, is an Andrew pick.
9 to 5. It's
That's
finally an enjoyable movie, guys. We've had a string of battens.
A movie that really bummed me out, but a well-made movie.
But it bummed you out for all the right reasons.
Yeah. We'll get to that stuff shortly. Before we do that, I should say I am Trip Leno, the one half of the Mega Podcasting Powers. With me, as always,
Andrew Leno.
That's right. And before we jump into it, there is one thing we have to do. We have to
Before we jump in, but after we segue.
Yeah. Before we get into the meat of the potato here, I want to tell you one thing. We have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/dissecting the 80s. We have an Instagram, Dissecting the 80s, at Dissecting the 80s on Instagram.
Or Instagram.com/Dissecting the 80s if you choose to view Instagram that way and you're a grandparent.
Right. Additionally, I'm literally going to get down on my knees right now. Hold on. I am now crouching on the floor, kneeling on the floor. Please, if you're listening to this show, go to iTunes and give us a rating and a review. It only needs to be one sentence. It only has to be any star level. You click a star level, you write one sentence. You could tell us we suck. I just want you to review us. That's all we need from you. That said, it's time to talk about 9 to 5.
We gotta go back, Marty. We gotta go dissect the 80s.
The Mega Powers explode.
I'm talking about the 80s. Oh, yeah. What you gonna do when Hulkamania run wild on you?
Mega Power Team.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, this is an Andrew pick, so why don't you tell people about the movie and all that fun stuff?
This is a Dolly Parton film of the 80s. Starring Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, and of course Dolly. It is a workplace comedy that's sort of like lady trailblazers and makes a lot of very valid points, albeit in a very kooky manner. But the points that they do raise, I think, are very valid and interesting. And you bring up a very excellent point of even in 2015, there's points that probably should be still looked at.
Yeah. The movie is 30 years old this year, I believe. I believe it's 85.
Mm-hmm.
And it really bummed me out watching it because the majority of the stuff they're talking about in this movie is conversations we're still having today with regard to equal pay for women, equal opportunity for promotions and advancement, and not just female issues, but stuff like workplace adaptations for people with disabilities, workplace adaptations for families, like childcare and things like that, which I understand is not like to the same level of the previous two things. Childcare is not really on the same level, but stuff that you're like, oh yeah, all of this made sense 30 years ago,
and this still
movie
makes sense.
Yeah, the movie raises these really valid points, and then it's living in a future as compared to this movie. It's just it kind of bummed me out
about
watching
the same.
it. The whole
Still about the same.
Yeah, it is, and it was really, really depressing for me to watch this movie. So as funny as there's some really good moments, and the performances are all really good, and
that's what
really
I think. It's just such a strong cast, and these ladies nail it. And it makes me think because I was like, oh, it would be interesting to see a remake of this movie with Amy Poehler as the Jane Fonda character, the new girl in The Office, and Megan Mullally as the Lily Tomlin, the older woman who's been there a while. But I could not think of anyone who would be Dolly, and it's because we don't have a Dolly anymore. There isn't anyone who's really funny but not known for their acting and more known for her physicality and her personality than anything.
By physicality, you mean one specific asset of her body.
You said it, not me.
Let's just put it on Front Street. Dolly has a
Enormous
world-class
boobs.
theme park.
Oh, well, you said it, not...
Dollywood is a lovely place down in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
I've heard really good things, actually.
If you ever have the opportunity, you should take a chance to go visit it. That's again what Dolly Parton is known for. If you were to ask people on the street, it's Dollywood, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
But I have actually heard really good things about Dollywood as a theme park.
She has a very diversified portfolio of investments.
Mm-hmm.
But in all seriousness, Dolly Parton is a wonderful human being who has awesome charities, and
she's a great
is
human.
Super into child literacy. She will send you books if you register with her charity. They will just
really
send
a
your
thing?
child. Yeah, they just send children. I believe it's children in Tennessee, but I don't know all the details.
So wonderful.
But they just send the kid a book. I think it's once a month or every year on their birthday or something like that. It's totally free. You just say hey, I have a child, and they're like, here's books. Read to your kid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she's a wonderful human being. I don't mean to joke about her and her theme park.
I think Dolly Parton is very, very funny, and not in a silly, campy kind of way. She genuinely knows how to be funny and has great timing. Between this and Steel Magnolias, I would never cast her as Lady Macbeth. Obviously, she's got a very small bag of tricks, but the tricks that she's got she's great. And I think she's
deserves, probably my favorite part of the movie.
I think she deserves more a little more respect as an actress than I think people give her.
I guess. I mean, she has limited range. I think that's what people talk about. But we've talked enough about how lovely Dolly is. Let's get into 9 to 5 here. Great montage opening set to Dolly's theme song.
Good that she composed with her fingernails. Sorry to sing Dolly's praises again, but she composed that with her fingernails.
It's actually in the montage, her tapping out the beat to 9 to 5 with click 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 on the table or the desk that she sits at rather. And I immediately in the montage and seeing the oh, would you give me some coffee? Oh, we passed you over for this promotion for a man because he has a penis. My second note of this movie
patriarchy.
is my second note was I'm really gonna hate this movie. It's gonna piss me off real bad. And it did. And it's just I can't not get annoyed at that stuff because
I mean, good for you for having such a social conscience, but
I know it's just such a bummer. It's 30 years later, and this movie, you could release this movie. I mean, the clothes would be dated, but you could release this movie with the same issues. If they were to remake this movie, they wouldn't have to rewrite it.
That's what I'm saying. This movie still could be remade.
Yeah,
just throw
it
a
could just be
Twitter
re-released.
reference in there.
Yeah. So Dabney Coleman is the bad guy in this movie, and he is one of my favorite sleazy asshole bad guys.
He's so good. He's so good at it.
Yeah, he's just really, really comfortable being a guy you want to kick in the face all the time, and he is perfectly cast in this movie. I hope that he's not like this in real life, but he's good at it in the
I feel
movie.
like generally speaking, it always seems like the nicer people play the best assholes.
Yeah,
Generally
yeah.
speaking.
And he is a huge asshole in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, since we're talking about Dolly's theme park, I think Dollywood did not have as many roller coasters in 1985 as it does in 2015.
You think?
Yeah, I think that the theme park upgrades have been significant in the interim. So I haven't gotten the park maps from 1985 to do a comparison of blueprints, but I am under the belief that Dollywood had some major construction.
I thought that it was, its biggest and like most expansive in the 80s and like only kind of required minor upkeep since then.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. It's one for the audience, I guess. So immediately Dabney Coleman gets right into shitbag boss stuff. He's having
they don't even give you time to like take a bite of your popcorn. It's like montage is over. I'm a dick.
So he's telling Lily Tomlin that she got passed over for the promotion because the guy she trained is a man, and so she's worthless. And then he's having one secretary. He has multiple secretaries for reasons I don't quite understand.
Well, no, I think it's sort of Dolly Parton is his assistant and like keeps his schedule and stuff, but Lily Tomlin is like head of the not secretary, like the administration team kind of a thing.
But what about the kind of mousy older woman?
Oh, I don't know. I forgot about her specific relationship to him.
I believe he has multiple secretaries.
Which I guess if you're an important enough guy, like in the company.
Yeah, Roz, the female.
Yeah, Roz.
She reminds me of the lady in Monsters Inc.
She 100%.
Also named Roz. Yeah, she also recently passed away. So
she's.
pour
I
one
feel like
out
I've known
for
her from
her.
something else too.
She's been in a lot of stuff, and she's actually really good in this. I wish I had written her name down. I'm annoyed at myself that I didn't. I thought I had looked her up, but she's been in a lot of stuff and was a really talented actress. But she's what honestly one of my favorite parts of this because she's like the perfect little toady hanging on Dabney Coleman's coattails.
She's
kind of
like Randall in Recess.
Yes,
if anyone's familiar.
Yeah,
she's
that's
very much a Randall in Recess.
That is super, super obscure, but yes, that is a good example. I do love in movies like this, one of my favorite parts about what we're doing on this podcast is we get to see old technology sometimes, and the copy machine, the phone's cool, but the copy machine that Jane Fonda is using and just being completely overwhelmed, I Love Lucy
like
style.
rocket technology.
It's also the size of a car.
That's true.
I mean, it's spitting out paper. It's you can't really tell what it's doing to try to collate the paper.
It just looks like so needlessly complicated.
Yeah,
because I've heard Mom talk about when her office job, and she always talks about a crank. Like when they made carbon copies, it was like a crank.
Mimeograph.
Yeah, they would crank it, and then it would spit out blue papers that weren't real. Because they were they would use that like the transfer paper.
Right.
So
yeah, the mimeograph machine was
something
manual.
like that.
Yeah, I guess this is probably one of the first automatic copy machines that existed. I mean, I don't know that to be certain, but I would imagine it's in the first chunk of automated copy machines, and it is the size of a car, which is a sheer delight for me.
Yeah. And there's also the great bit of
actually no, this is 1980, so it's 35 years.
Oh, is it really 1980?
Yeah.
Wow. Dabney really wants tickets to Dollywood, and Dolly is just not having it because she's already sold out to this one guy.
She's married.
Yes. Well, I was keeping your little joke going.
You can keep the joke going, but she's married.
She's married, and it's like, no, I have a husband, so I'm not going to sleep with you, dude. Thank you. You're great. You're a boss. You're my boss, and I'll get your coffee, but I'm not gonna have sex with you.
Stop being a gross human being.
Yeah, stop being just the most disgusting.
She also is really good at being completely confused
Naive.
by everyone hates her. Yeah, everyone in the office thinks they're sleeping together,
Because
so everyone in the office hates her. Right.
He tells the office that they sleep together and she's his mistress, so everyone hates her, and poor Dolly Parton has no idea why.
Right. She can't quite figure out that the reason everybody's hating on her is because the two of them are stuppin', according to Dabney Coleman.
And like even Jane Fonda, I was like surprised because she's new in the office and Lily Tomlin's kind of showing her around, and there's a whole scarf bit where they buy a scarf thinking it's for his wife, and he gives it to Dolly Parton.
Right, he has one secretary purchase a scarf to give to his other secretary because he's just the grossest.
He is the most foul human. And Dolly Parton's like, hey, do you want... First of all, Italian is my favorite 80s, little thing. Little things.
That happened to me when I first moved to Frederick.
Really?
Yeah, I was at a store looking for crushed tomatoes to make chili, and I went up and down the vegetable aisle, canned vegetables, no dice, and I finally asked an employee, and the guy said, "Oh, they're in the Italian section under international cuisine."
Okay.
A bit of a rude awakening.
But Dolly's like, "Hey, Jane Fonda, do you want to go out to lunch? I know this great Italian place." And Jane Fonda is such a bitch about it.
She really is.
She's
not
like,
nice.
"No, I don't have time for sluts," and walks away.
And as if she has any real knowledge of
Like, you
whether
don't
Dolly...
know this woman.
Right, she never met her. She's new. She's just
You're new
started
in
the
town.
job. Yeah, and she's immediately like, "Oh no, I don't want to get aligned with you. You're the office slut. You're the worst."
Right? Not like you have a husband to steal. Burn.
So is it Lily Tomlin or Jane Fonda that has the son that gives her the drugs?
Oh, it's Lily Tomlin, because Lily Tomlin's got a son, like a family.
Okay,
She's a single
so
mom. That's what it is. Lily Tomlin's a single mom.
yeah. So I'm probably jumping ahead a little bit, but it's a segment I really enjoyed of the movie. She's hanging out with her son, who's definitely a teenager, and she's got absolute cool mom status. You know, this is the kind of mom who's letting son have a couple of beers while he's working on the car.
'Cause
He's changing the oil.
'Cause
He's having a
she's
brewski.
She is doing her garage door opener. She's fixing
Yes.
it. Because so we know how that she's mechanically inclined.
Right. She's got
Remember
some
that,
skills.
folks.
Yeah. Chekhov's garage door opener, I believe the first instance of. But he says, "Mom, you got to relax. Let me give you a joint." And she's like, "No, no, no." And then I write, "If these three ladies don't get high Breakfast Club style, I'm going to lose my shit."
And so she's like, "Fine, I'll on it for a rainy day," and puts it in her
Yeah.
purse.
And later on, the three ladies get high Breakfast Club style.
This is after they quit. Do they quit? No, they don't quit. Oh, she threatens him because Dolly
Yes.
Parton finds out that. Dolly Parton finds out that he has been telling everyone they're sleeping together. So best line, she says, "I'll turn you from a rooster to a hen, one shot, and don't think I won't." And she walks out and says, "I'm taking the afternoon off." And then Lily Tomlin finds out she's been passed over for the promotion. She's out of here. I'm taking the afternoon off. And then Jane Fonda is just like, "I don't have any friends here, so I'm gonna go." And she also leaves.
Her reasons less solid for leaving the office for a quick half day, but still valid.
Because they're drinking in a bar, and Lily Tomlin's like, I got some Mary Jane," and Jane, because they're so mom about it. They all are. Like Jane Fonda's like, "I've never had a marijuana cigarette," and that's exactly how she pronounces it, marijuana.
And then they have jazz cigarettes in the bathroom of this bar.
No, they go home first. They go to Dolly Parton's place.
Oh, you're right.
Because they're sitting around her fireplace. And
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I screwed that up. You're right.
Envision, because she says that. She said, "Let's go to the bathroom and get baked." And Jane Fonda's like, "What if someone finds out?" I'm like, "Calm it, narc." And Dolly Parton's like, "Let's go back to my place."
I have a Persian rug and a fireplace.
So they all get high on marijuana, and
And it's just a pure jazz cigarette and giggle fest. It is a delight.
and then they all describe, and it goes to like fate, what is it Wayne's World, like of how they would kill or hurt their boss if they got the opportunity. And Dolly Parton's is like a hunt, like they got bloodhounds, and they're hunting him down.
It's funny.
No, that's Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda is hunting him down.
Jane Fonda is Annie Oakley, chasing him down. Dolly does
him.
yes.
She does him to him and treats him like a sex symbol and makes him
right.
uncomfortable.
She has him like collared up and stuff.
and
right?
then she ropes him like a cattle.
yeah, and then
Because in case you forgot, guys, Dolly Parton's a good Southern girl.
and Jane Fonda does a Cinderella thing.
Lily Tomlin is Cinderella. The
Oh,
Snow White.
I got them backwards. Okay, yeah.
Like I think this is one of my most favorite segments of the movie, because these three ladies just commit so much to these bits, and they're all so different. And like Lily Tomlin is this big woman, like she's tall and she's broad, she's kind of like sassy and brassy, and she fully commits to this flighty Snow White person.
Yeah,
of like,
it's delightful.
It's really fun to watch her play against type.
Yeah, she's awesome, and I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard really good things about
Frankie
her
and
Netflix
Grace?
show. Yeah, with Jane Fonda is also in that.
I hope Dolly Parton makes a cameo.
Yeah, as we were talking about this just now, I thought, I wonder if she does. It would be kind of cute if they found a way to work her into that.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a fun little twist where, whoops, Lily Tomlin gave rat poison to Dabney Coleman instead of his
Skinny and sweet.
Skinny and Sweet, which I guess is
Like Splenda, equal.
Yeah, it was too expensive to license the name.
So the rat poison looks just like Skinny and Sweet, and she accidentally puts it in his coffee, and when he goes to drink it, his chair falls over and he hits his head. So she thinks she's poisoned him,
Right.
and hilarity ensues.
They go to a hospital. There's a mistaken identity.
She puts on a doctor's coat and steals a dead body.
A dead body. This was a segment of the movie that I almost lost me, because they steal the body without checking to see that he's in there. Then they put the body in the trunk, and then they go all over town. They're like, it's like a 2-hour drive, because it goes from like dusk to full on darkness in the time. And they just drive around with a dead body in the trunk. There's no plan until they get into a car accident, and then they have to figure, we're going to dump him in the river.
And we have to lie to this police officer. And I get to say, I'm a doctor. Out of my way.
Yeah, it's just bananas. So they realize they have the wrong body, and they go to take it back.
They wheel it into the bathroom somehow and leave it there.
Yes, and I'm like, this poor woman has to deal with this, and the janitor lady is just like, there's another body in the bathroom.
Hey, that's why I think they had to do it that way. Otherwise, it would have been like, I don't like these ladies anymore. But it had to be another Monday kind of moment.
Apparently, it happens all the time that they have dead bodies in their bathrooms.
You saw the hospital. It's real lowbrow shit going on there.
It does look like the hospital from Grindhouse.
It's just
Planet
like
Terror.
doctors who don't really care. They're like, well, I think this is this guy, but I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They
it's
let
not
a woman
hospital.
put on a doctor's coat and take a dead body, and no one is watching.
To be fair, it was the 80s. It was a pre 9/11 world. It was easier to sneak into places with security.
That's true.
Dolly also rocks a baby blue leather trench coat with fur collar
she does.
that is a delight in that hospital
has
sequence.
the best outfits.
So
he comes back.
We realize he's not dead. The
Well,
plan
I can't remember,
becomes
does the audience know he's not dead yet?
Yes, we know he's
We've
not
known
dead
the whole time.
before the body gets stolen, we know that he's not dead. The doctors are talking about it, and it's very clearly a different guy. Then we have the whole thing going on. But
that's what it is. There's a dead body that they're talking about who was actually poisoned, and
Right.
Lily Tomlin overhears and assumes they're talking about their boss, and that's why
Right.
she steals the body.
Right. So he finds out that she might have accidentally poisoned him, and the plan is, I'm just going to blackmail you for sex because I'm disgusting.
Dolly, here's the thing: he doesn't even care or give a shit about Lily Tomlin. It's all about Dolly, who wasn't even involved.
Right.
He's like, your friend tried to murder me, so I'm going to blackmail you.
And I know you like Dolly, but I would say she's more charismatic than she is good actress.
She's funny, and she commits, and she knows what she's good at, and she sticks to it.
Agreed. And in this movie, she inexplicably has a gun in her purse.
But that was the point. That was like a shtick.
I know, but it's kind of a weird thing for a character to have in New York City.
But she's a Southern girl, remember?
Yeah, so she's got a pistol that we actually literally get Chekhov's gun in this movie. Dolly's pistol then becomes the thing that prevents Dabney Coleman from getting away.
So she ties him up.
Yes.
Because she's also a hog tire. Because she's a
Right.
good Southern girl. Trip.
Of course, yes.
I carry a handbag. I carry a purse. Hang on. I ruined that joke. I carry a handgun in my purse, and I can hog tie a guy in 3 seconds. Don't you forget it. Use that take.
I'm going to use both takes.
No.
I'm not editing this one. So, Dabney escapes and is about to run out of the building and cause all sorts of problems, but instead, I'm writing down the time code. Instead, what's her face shoots at him a million times and can't hit him from
Jane
1 foot
Fonda
away.
picks up the gun and
Right.
and panics
And just starts firing wildly in the office.
She's basically the equivalent of like those goats, like fainting goats. They're just like, nah. Like that's all she can do is just panic and do the most outrageous thing she can think of.
Dolly's gun is a revolver, so she fires 6 times and just blows out all the glass in the office, but doesn't hit him at all.
Bullshot. So they decide they're just going to take him to his house because his wife is on vacation, and they're going to run the show.
Right.
Because, I mean, why not?
There's also really bad dramatic music underscoring this part of the movie. It's just really like the kind of music you'd have in The Godfather, that level of seriousness. And it's like, we have a hijinks comedy with 3 women and Dabney Coleman getting tied up. We don't need to get to Godfather level of seriousness here, people.
Probably not. So they tie him up in his house, and they're like, "Well, how are we going to keep him here all day? Like he's gonna get out. He's gonna try and get away." And so they rig up this entire elaborate sort of Home Alone meets Saw kind of a home rig of it's a garage door opener that is tied to a parachuting outfit.
Yeah, it's a parachute harness.
Parachute harness, which is also linked to handcuffs and foot cuffs,
He's in a gimp outfit, essentially.
but without the outfit. All the
He's-
restraint of the gimp outfit with none of
Right.
the discomfort.
Right. It's really strange, and he is then chained up in his own house.
And can't do anything. He can't
No,
leave
it's
his
not
room.
his house. It's what's her face.
No, that's his house. It's his big old house. Because remember, that's why they're staying over there? Because it's a nice house.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Jane Fonda's house.
No, she's living in a shitty apartment. Remember, she just got dumped. She's divorced.
That's right. I got confused. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, at this point, we finally get to the plot of the movie, which is that Dabney Coleman has been embezzling. He's been stealing merchandise from the company and selling it for his own gain, and then hoping nobody would notice.
Mm-hmm. And no one has.
Right.
Until these ladies came along.
Right. So they kind of discover this plan as they're working to keep it a secret that he's not in his office.
And
so
better
Dolly,
the company.
right. But at first, it's like, let's trick everybody into thinking he's coming to work. So Dolly lights a cigar and leaves it in the ashtray, and then the Roz comes in looking for him, and he's not there, but the cigar's puffing away.
She's like, well,
And-
you just missed him, I swear. And then they
Right.
have the great elevator bit where she's like, Lily Tomlin, stop, or Jane Fonda, stop Mr. Whatever. And so she's like, oh, wait. And Lily Tomlin's hitting the door shut button, and just as it shuts, Roz comes around the corner, and it's a really great bit of farcical comedy.
Yeah, they do some nice French bedroom type stuff. And the other thought I had is, we both grew up in a world where smoking got pretty much eradicated from public space.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember smoking sections in restaurants, but it was a long time ago for me. And for you, it's probably at the edge of your memory.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine working with somebody who regularly smokes cigars in their office?
That just seems like, if in the office, in your own personal office, I guess is one thing. But weren't they all smoking in the break room and all smoking at their desks too?
Yes, yeah.
Like-
but the difference, I mean, stale cigarette smoke is gross, but the smell of cigar, I don't mind it when it's a fresh thing, but the smell of stale cigar smoke is one of the grossest, horrifying odors to me. And the idea of coming in to get your TPS report signed off on, and you got to just wade into a haze of cigar smoke, is enough to make me nauseous just talking about it.
But that's also part of his he's the worst, so it makes sense that he would subject-
Absolutely, but I'm not even saying that. I'm sure it was common.
Oh yeah,
I mean, high-level executives in that era were probably smoking cigars in their office.
that's true. I don't.
So-
It's can't even imagine. Well, even there's that old wives' tale of if someone smokes in a movie, it's an automatic R rating. I don't know if it's a real thing, but it's something that I've heard.
I am under the impression that it's true because nobody smokes in the Marvel movies or anything. Disney doesn't let anybody smoke, which I guess is why the Marvel movies don't have it. But you don't see people smoke much in movies anymore.
Even cigars.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen very often. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked here. That French farce stuff is really fun, and then we engage Lady Boss mode, where the three women decide to just fix all the dumb shit that he's been doing in the company and ruining everything.
Because Dolly signs for him all the time because she's his secretary. She's his head secretary or main assistant or whatever.
Right.
So she's like, I can do that. So every memo is signed by him and official. And it's you can, if you're having a child, we are going to open a daycare. And is it flexible hours? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, flex hours, yeah, and job sharing where two people work at a full-time job, but each of them have a half-time salary. One of them might work mornings and one evenings or something like that. They rehire the handicapped people that he laid off in the first 5 minutes of the movie because
To
they
show
were
how
disgusting
shitty
him.
he was.
Yeah, he fires the guy in a wheelchair. He fires the guy with crutches just because he's a horrible monster.
It's
and then-
basically this movie is basically Horrible Bosses, but for the 80s.
That's true. I mean, it's very similar. It's very, very similar. The Horrible Bosses is sort of a remake, except that loses all of the social commentary that this is full of.
Yeah, because it's dudes.
Yeah,
dudes
it's just
on
a
dudes
wacky
on dudes.
dude comedy. Yeah, except Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
They're engaging Lady Boss mode. They're fixing they're doing all this stuff.
Lily
Completely turned
Lily
the cover
Tomlin
around.
is kicking ass and taking names, and I just want it's what's her name, Countess? No, from G.I. Joe. Cobra. Baroness. It's like that. I'm like, why isn't she running Cobra? Why isn't Lily Tomlin running this company?
Right, and that's the obvious
That's
point.
why.
is
That's
that
why
she's
Baroness
qualified.
isn't in charge of Cobra. Patriarchy. That's what it is.
It's true. The company's even called G.I. Joe. It's not, it's right there in the name. It's male-oriented. They basically make the company from one that was doing okay into one that is just
Thriving.
unstoppable. Yeah. Meanwhile...
It's a Google. is what it's become.
It is. It's exactly how they portray Google in Modern Things, that their workplaces are. They don't have nap pods in this, but it's damn close.
Yeah. Like, you're allowed to put... Like, that was my favorite. They're like, you can't put any personal items in your desk, even your mug. Like...
Yeah, you had to have, like, a company mug. It was, like, a plain white job, and that was it. You weren't allowed to have
because she was
any...
like, your mug is at your desk. And I was like, what? And she's like, you can't have any personal items. So they were like, fuck that noise. If you want to put a dancing hula girl on your desk, go right ahead.
Have some flowers, brighten the space up.
The office is like... I think they paint the office, too.
They do,
It's like a bright color, and it's fun and vibrant.
Meanwhile, Dabney Coleman is filing through a leather cuff with a fingernail file.
Because he found one stuck in the bottom of a drawer. Because they took everything out. Because they had their wits together, and they took away all sharp things, all knives, all scissors, even his like toenail clippers they took. And his cigar cutter. They were like, don't risk it, take it from him. But they missed one. But
I think filing through a leather cuff with a fingernail file is almost as impressive as Andy Dufresne tunneling out of Shawshank with a rock hammer.
Yeah, I agree. Because that's a lot of patience and a lot of commitment.
Yes, it's a long, slow process to slowly file through a leather cuff. And also at this point, we have the ex-wife of Jane Fonda, whose name is Dick. Yep, that's right. I made this movie really progressive.
Real progress. I don't know. He shows up.
He's in super creeper mode.
Yeah, he is.
He's stalking around outside the house. He's peering in the windows. He's just generally being the grossest.
He thinks she's sleeping with her boss, and that's why she's there.
Right, and that she's moved in with him, and that they're together now.
Mm-hmm. Even though he left her for his secretary.
Yeah,
she's like,
he is disgusting.
She's
monster.
like, what? She's like, you literally did this to me. So how can you say anything? You pig, get out. But
this is a great physical comedy bit because Dabney breaks out while Dick is downstairs, and she has to run upstairs and take care of Dabney and get him tied up again.
She garage doors him, which means he literally gets swung up onto the ceiling and just dangles there like a piñata.
Yes. And at that point, she's like poking at him and trying to tie his hands up, and Dick opens the door and is like, "Whoa, what's going on here? Are you into kinky stuff?"
And she's like, "So what if I am?" And sidebar, in the musical, there's the song, the Jane Fonda's character sings a song right now, and it is the best song of the show, called Get Out and Stay Out. And she's telling her husband to hit the road, Jack.
That's pretty much the moment they have in this, too, except they don't sing it.
It's melodically.
Yes.
So if you're ever interested as Ectomaniacs in a really great, heartfelt ballad, Get Out and Stay Out, 9 to 5.
At this point, we kind of glossed over this, but the warehouse that was sold, Dabney Coleman had been using to embezzle, they were trying to find proof of it, so they were working on getting these reports from New York. It was one of these...
That's because they kept him there so long because they couldn't get the reports, so they just had to keep going.
Right, and it was one of these like classic movie things is we need to put a timer in this thing, so, okay, we have to last 5 days, or we have to last 7 days, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, he filed through the cuff and is able to put all of the merchandise back.
No, that's not what happened. He
buys it all back.
No, but you missed the big reveal because they found out about it and dropped the plan in his lap and was like, "You're licked, son. Like, we've fixed everything about the company and blah 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 blah. We're gonna get you." And then his wife comes back and he sends her away. And then she calls Dolly to thank her for the flowers that she sent. And she's like, "Well, no, I'm home. He sent me away." And that's when they realize that he's gotten out and he's up to his conniving ways.
Right, and that he basically saved his ass because he got all this merch back in the warehouse, he fixed the problem, they have no proof of anything, and also they kidnapped him for a week.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, is a problem in this movie because even if they got him fired for embezzling, they still kidnapped him for a week.
Yeah, but they're strong, independent ladies.
I'm just saying a crime has still been committed, and it's a decent chance they're going to jail for it.
Yeah, but you've seen Orange is the New Black. It's lady jail. They'll be fun, colorful characters with a great background story.
I suppose. So, Colonel Sanders shows up, who's like the CEO of the company.
Yeah.
And he wants to see what's going on in that New York office because it's got the best productivity in the company. The numbers are through the roof. Everybody's really impressed by it.
And he is just loving everything. He's like this dick. At one point, they're like Dabney Coleman is learning about everything as the Colonel is.
He's come back to the office and seen what the ladies have done,
and he's holding them at gunpoint secretly with Dolly's gun. And so he's like, the flex hours, and they're telling him all about it. And he's like pointing their gun at them and being like, once we're done showing him around, you're gonna come with me to the police station. And we turn, and Colonel Sanders is holding all of the babies in the daycare center, and he's like, I love this idea. And
It was such a weird moment. He picked up several children that
was just
weren't
holding
his
them.
children.
None of those are his kids.
It's just like it was like a United Colors of Benetton ad.
Yeah.
Benetton ad. He's just like grabbing some kids and
for
smiling.
only 25 cents a day.
That's a very different ad
I know.
than what I was
I got
talking
it.
about.
But so he's like, wow, Dabney Coleman, you did such a great job. I want you to come to Panama and do the project there. What does this company do? That there's a Panama project?
It's never established what the company does. They clearly sell a product because they had a warehouse full of it, but
Yeah.
it is never established what that product is or anything like that.
They're an importer-exporter.
Yeah, it's just a widget factory. It doesn't explain what they do. It's just a corporate office of something or other.
So he's like, yeah, you're going to come with me to Panama. You should only be there about 5 years. And he's
Right,
like,
and he's like super mad about it, which to be fair is a pretty major life adjustment to make.
yeah. And Colonel Sanders is like, I don't take no for an answer. We can leave the office in the hands of these ladies right here. And it's like, strong, independent woman. And he like grimacing as the elevator doors close, and you're like, and he dies.
Yes.
They do an Animal House style, like,
They do frozen circles.
Yeah.
So they freeze frame in circles on people's faces, which is one of my favorite.
we forgot the best part, that they had to get rid of Roz because she was getting too good, because she's the only one with brains in that office.
Right.
So they sent her to a language course in Germany to learn German.
Like one of those intensive.
Yeah, they're like,
2-week
that's how we're going to
jobs.
get rid of her. So she comes back fully expecting Dabney Coleman to be there, and she finds the ladies drinking champagne in his office, being like, we're on top. And she just like loses her shit.
She does. She has a full-on meltdown.
And that's when we start the freeze frame circles.
Yeah, frozen circles is one of my favorite 80s things. It made me so happy to see it in this because it's such a only that time period thing. It went out of favor very quickly. But you basically
I
are
like it.
forced.
I have to say, I enjoy that.
But it's such a silly thing because you watch this movie. This is about hour 45 minutes or 2 hours, or whatever. And then before the credits roll, you watch like snippets of the movie again, and then they like freeze circle on someone's face, and it's like Dabney Coleman was murdered by a cheetah while in Brazil in the first year, and you're like, oh, that's a pretty horrible way for him to have met his end.
Mm-hmm. They said his office was like set upon by tribesmen.
Yes,
and he was never seen or heard from again. And I was like,
It was-
wait
it
a
was a
minute.
little
I was like,
casual
wait,
racism.
Can we not just like gloss over that? Because that's a big thing.
Yeah, he was murdered by a band of people. Also, a little casual racism tossed in there. For a progressive movie, it does get a little ding on that. But then all of the ladies have, had great and wonderful success with their frozen circle. They found happiness and wealth. And
I
all
think
that
my
fun
favorite
stuff.
is Jane Fonda's. I think it's that one where I think it says like Jane Fonda went on to marry a nice man, blah blah blah. Not that that's the only defining factor in her life, but it is a fact. And I was like, go you, movie.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing. We should.
It's very self-aware.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts before we start doing wrap up as far as plot and anything goes?
I love that they were like, and Dolly became a singer, country singer. I
Yes,
was like,
that was cute.
Of course,
I like that a lot.
of course.
Yeah. So we don't normally get into this social commentary stuff on the show, but this is what struck me the most about this movie is that it's really interesting to watch this as a piece of an example piece of that time period as far as the social politics of the day were concerned. And then you compare it to today, they're casually smoking weed, which is kind of only become a thing now where it's, something that's not a heinous crime, although in most states it's still going to get you caught.
Yeah.
You get in trouble. The workplace politics as far as gender roles is really upsetting and really bummed me out. And as much as I wanted to enjoy the hijinks of these ladies, it was tough for me to it bummed me the hell out.
I know, and I applaud you for having such a strong social conscience. But
And I'm not one of those people that gets
I know
all up in arms
you're
about
not.
things. Yeah, and so it's I'm generally a person who's just whatever. But this particularly bummed me out because it's so old and things are still the same.
And I think it's also because I just graduated college last year. I'm not really in an office environment ever, so I'm I don't really know that that's still a thing. In my head, everything's better.
I'll be honest with you. The office where I work is not like that at all. I would say 3/4 of the people I work with are women. So my boss is a woman. The high-level positions in my company are held by women. It's not the particular company that I work for is not an example of this, but I know that it exists in the world. Just because I don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, I don't know. There's some, I love 80s hijinks, and I love strong 80s women, which is why, I love Steel Magnolias, and I love First Wives Club, and is that 80s? Or is that 90s?
I think that's a 90s movie.
Gotcha. But, I don't know. I've always had a soft spot for strong, female-driven movies.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend this movie.
100%.
I wasn't in there.
I think this is our first recommendation in months.
Yes, it is definitely at least 3 or 4 episodes since we've recommended. Even one of us has recommended a movie, but I would definitely say this is worth your time. It's funny, it's interesting, it's a great, there's great interplay between the 3 leads. Lily Tomlin, Dolly Parton, and Jane Fonda are all really awesome together. And Dabney
they're really
Coleman
on
is
their game.
Yeah, and Dabney Coleman is the perfect heel. Like you really want him to get kicked in the teeth the whole movie, and he's really, really relishes
And
that.
Roz, I feel like Roz is like a little gem, an underappreciated gem in this movie of like a perfect little sidekick, a little parrot on Dabney Coleman's shoulders.
Yes, and every time she drops in the movie, she delivers a laugh or a funny or a nice bit or something that makes you really frustrated. She's really, really strong. So she's an excellent actress. And
Addams Family Values. That's what she's from. That's what I know her from predominantly. She plays Is it Addams Family? No, it's Addams Family. The first where whole thing is about Fester coming back. She plays the evil villain who wants to steal the Addams money.
Wait, are you talking about the one who wants to marry Fester?
No, that's Addams Family Values.
Okay, I was going to say that's not who you think it is.
That's Joan Cusack.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not the same actress at all. I'm sorry, I got confused.
Both movies are kind of about stealing fortunes.
Okay. But
the first one, she plays the woman who found Fester and is pretending to be his psychotherapist.
Okay. So before we let the people go, we should do our everybody's favorite segment, Hot Tag Taglines. Hot Tag Tagline. This movie bum trip out.
Oh.
Hot Tag Tagline. 9 to 5.
Dollywood's architecture has held up surprisingly well.
So I guess we had to sneak in some mildly misogynist jokes since I was being a social justice warrior.
Also, it's a funny joke, y'all. Eat a dick. It's a funny joke.
She's a wonderful woman.
Dolly Parton.
Sort of what she's
If
known
I could
for.
meet Dolly Parton, I would, in a heartbeat. I wowould give several dollars to meet Dolly Parton.
Well, you get her to endorse the show while you're at it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
but because she's in one of my favorite movies, and I would just be like, "Hi, you're wonderful and lovely." Make no mistake, people, listeners, Dissectomaniacs. It comes from a place of comedy
and love
and lots of love,
yes.
but also comedy.
So hopefully this will be up, probably not before Memorial Day itself ends, but we wanted to do a little theme 9 to 5. Since the 9 to 5 crowd is off on Memorial Day, we were trying to tie in that.
I like that tie-in.
Yeah, it was good. And you want to give them a clue for next week?
Perfect.
Nailed it.
Don't you forget about me.